Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and I am back again with another expose. Yes, it has been a long time since I've done a video like this, but sometimes you just get your teeth into something. You spend all night reading and researching, digging around on the internet to try and find as much information as you can. Call it investigative journalism if you like. So today I'm going to be turning my attention to the company TTM Guitars. TTM Guitars, you've probably never heard of them. Understandably, no one has. You know, I came across TTM Guitars because they're trying really hard to kind of push their brand now, as they seem to have relaunched after a very, very sketchy history. I'm sure I will mention that as we go on. But yeah, just scrolling through Facebook, I saw a lovely ad for TTM Guitars. Get endorsed. Free gear. That's what they put. Get endorsed! Exclamation mark. Free gear! Exclamation mark. So I thought, well, you know, there's got to be some sort of scam going on here, so let's look into it. And I had a lot of fun with it because when I clicked through to the comments, it seems that most people realised that this wasn't legit. There's more to it, right? But there were some glowing reviews. In fact, Dave James Coombs wrote, as you can see on screen, best thing I ever did was join the TTM family. I collect guitars, so I have 30 plus Ibanez, Gem, Universe, PV, Vandenbergs, Tracer, V-Types, BC Rich, Kramer, Jackson, ESP, Dean, etc. But after I bought my first Devastator in 2009, I was hooked. Yes, the guitars are freaking awesome shred machines, but it's more than that. It's the TTM community that is so supportive and widespread. I took a gamble ordering one back in 2009, living down under. Now I'm an official endorsee, sharing the list with the likes of Bob Daisley, CC. Didn't want to tag CC, we'll come on to that. Rick Fox, Chris Holmes, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Cool, glowing review. It seems that they have some customers. But, you know, I kept reading, and then I came across a comment by a gentleman by the name of Aldo Zanni. His comment reads, best thing I ever did was join the TTM family. I collect guitars, so I have 30 plus Ibanez, Gem, Universe, PV, Vandenbergs, Tracers, Vita, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. I mean, these two have some very similar comments. They're dropping some very, very, very similar comments, actually. They're definitely different people. So initially you got thinking, well, maybe what we've got going on here is the company are boosting their own posts. Maybe they're boosting their own posts by setting up fake profiles and commenting using those profiles to create some hype around the brand. And interestingly, that doesn't seem to be what's going on here. But we'll come on to that. So I dug around a little bit more and I came to 7string.org. Many of you may be users. So 7string.org, great forum if you want to, you know, check out the 7string thing. TTM Devastation 2018 review by DJC DeVille. He only has 13 posts on the site and he does seem to have signed up just to tell people about this guitar. And he hasn't commented on any other threads, which, you know, take from that what you will. So he ordered and received a TTM Devastator. Wow, these new ones are freaking awesome. Build quality is superb. The neck is fantastic. Here we go. I owned 30 odd guitars, Ibanez, Kramer, BC Rich, ESP, Dean, PV, etc. But this new TTM wipes the floor with all of them and is my new favourite. The improvements from the first incantation of TTM is phenomenal. Ooh, similar wording there, right? It really does sound like some similar wording. It's almost like these are the same people, and they are the same people, but we will come on to that. So fortunately, the group seemed to immediately work out what's going on here. I'll just point this out, right, DJC DeVille, if you ever watch this, I'm just going to let you know right at the start. In fact, I'm going to stare down the screen, right? I get the fact that you want to you want to do good things for this brand. I get that. But you don't seem to get that you're doing so much more damage for the brand than you could possibly do good, because when people search for the brand and the only people talking about the brand is you and being very misleading to people, what's known as astroturfing, you do a lot more damage for the brand than you're doing good. So let's go on. Now, the forum managed to point out everything is a little bit shady here. You've got Devastation, the TTM Devastation, which last time I checked, and from your photos, is a 6-string guitar, right? But you joined 7string.org to tell people about this, because yeah, they're going to be your customers. So lots of people pointed out that TTM have a very, very shady history. If you go back in time, about 10 years, the 2009 era, TTM guitars were making guitars, custom shop guitars, and it turned out that most of them, what they tended to be, were imported parts from China, which were then assembled by someone, and they were varying quality, but they were trying to push this idea that you're getting custom built instruments, and some people were paying as low as $200 for these guitars, but generally speaking, you're talking about the $400 range, which isn't a lot of money. It's certainly not a lot of money for a custom guitar, and anyone with any sort of objectivity will look at that and go, clearly this isn't a custom guitar. You get what you pay for, guys. So yeah, as we scroll further on through this, people start pointing out some of the flaws, the quality flaws, right? And DJ C. DeVille is, he gets a little bit angsty, kind of starts calling everyone else trolls and getting abusive to them. Fair enough. You know, link to this below so you can read it. Now someone else comes in. Music for my sanity. Some serious hate here, since one of you believes a guitar can't exist without details. Here are mine. And he goes through the list of his particular guitar. Talks about what he uses it for, and he's uploaded some pictures of the guitar. Again, interesting. Only 8 messages, and all of them on this thread. It's almost like there's a community of people astroturfing here. There was a brand that they've been told to talk about, and when one wasn't having much luck, someone else has come in to try and defend the point. Now, this is weird, right? It's certainly weird. So I did a little bit more digging. Found myself over at Reddit, and user, you guessed it, DJ C. DeVille, has only made 2 posts on Reddit. Only made 2. One of them where someone was asking about, well, actually both of them are on the same thread. Our manager has got us an endorsement deal and I'm suspicious, TTM guitars. And I've scrolled through these comments to see what people think, and you're seeing the same sort of astroturfing. But what you will also see is, where is he? Here we go. DJ C. DeVille. I have a TTM endorsement, and they're a great company selling great products. I've been playing TTM since 2009, and they have some great artists already on their roster. By becoming an endorser, you become part of a great family. The TTM family have 30 plus other brand name, the TTM family. He's missed out an I, that's where I got confused there. I have 30 plus other brand name guitars, ESP Kramer, Ibanez, PV, BC Rich. Are we starting to notice a pattern here, right? But this is a very different spin to how he was portraying these guitars on 7string.org. You see, on 7string.org, he portrayed himself as a customer, somebody that had bought a guitar and wanted to tell people that he bought a cool guitar. Whereas here, he's talking about the endorsements. Now he's talking about the fact that he is an endorsed artist. So which is it? Are you an endorsed artist, or are you some no-name guy that can speak objectively about guitars? I have guitars that I can speak objectively about, and I have other guitars from companies that I have had relationships with or currently have relationships with. It's difficult to really take my word as, you know, true on those. I'm telling you it is true, but I would understand why people would go, well, hang on a minute, you've been playing Vigier guitars for like 7 years, Levi. Of course you're going to say they're good. There's no point arguing with someone like that. But yeah, point is, this is some pretty shady behaviour. And he goes on to talk about, you know, as of the 1st of June 2018, all TTM guitars are 100% made in the USA. The import models are no longer available. Has any of you actually played, seen, touched a real TTM? This is really starting to come across as somebody that knows the company quite well. Like, really knows the company quite well. So I thought I'd do a little bit more digging. And it turns out, and this is the interesting thing to me, that this CJD or DJC DeVille, he is a real person. You can find him on Facebook just by looking for David James Coombs, DJC DeVille. Be careful though, when you check his profile out, you are going to be in for something very awkward. I think, well, I know this man lives out in Australia. I think that given the opportunity, I think he would probably cut CC DeVille's face off and wear it on his own and just become the man. If he could crawl inside his body, that's exactly what he would do. It's a very, very strange profile, not the kind of person that you would, you know, think as being an artist. More, I'm not even going to say a cheap imitation. This is like some sort of mutated imitation. Very, very, very strange. But yeah, totally a legit person. Then we come back to that previous character, the Aldo Zanni. So Aldo Zanni, that posted the word-for-word comment that David posted, Dave James Coombs posted, he also appears to be a real person. So who's in control of that profile? Or did you both just happen to write the exact same thing, and the guy that lives in Italy says that actually he lives in Australia? Again, very, very strange. So I did some digging, and it seems that we have some fun here. So TTM Guitars, let me bring up their website. Let me bring up a cool page. Where is our endorsements? Here we go. Ready? Boom. So, and this is what it all comes down to. Want to be a TTM endorsed artist? Here are just a few of the artists we endorse. Notice the language there. Not who endorse our guitars. You have to understand those are different things. You can endorse lots of things. I endorse Yamaha speakers. They're great. I give them my endorsement. Good product, thumbs up. But Yamaha don't endorse me. They don't put their thumbs up and go, Levi Clay, he's a good guy. No one does that. So yeah, here are a few of the artists that we endorse. Rush, Motley Crue, LA Guns, Great White, Quiet Riot, April Wine, Zebra, Fates Warning, Killer Dwarfs. I should... On the note of Killer Dwarfs, I would just like to tell you that TTM Guitars, apparently, according to the owner of the company, stands for taller than midgets. And this is something that he's okay with. He in fact posts funny pictures like the one on screen right now. So yeah, taller than midgets. There you go. But yeah, you carry on through that list and you see Poison and Dokken and Wasp and Ozzy Osbourne and Megadeth and Rat. These are all huge names, right? But when you really dig, none of these bands or guitar players from bands talk about these TTM guitars. They don't do it at all. And I found that to be very strange. So I did a little bit more digging. And actually, this is, you know, all on their website. A Moment in Time, the Alex Lifeson Time Machine, hand-delivered to Alex on the 29th of June, 2010, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for their inaugural show. Do you know what inaugural means? 2010. I mean, Rush have been around for, what, 40 years longer than that? And you're describing this as their inaugural show? Interesting. It seems what's happened here is this guy absolutely, the owner, absolutely loves Rush. Fair enough, Rush are a great band. Absolutely loves Rush. In fact, when he had 2,112 fans on Facebook, friends on Facebook, he put up a post saying, that's it, we've achieved our goal, I don't need any more friends, this is perfect. He's clearly a huge Rush fan, which is absolutely fine. But you don't, let me bring my face up on screen, you don't get to just pick an artist, love them, make a guitar for them, like make a guitar, not that they've asked you to, but make a guitar because you like a tribute guitar, make a guitar because you love them, go to a show and then give that guitar to them and say, that guy endorses our guitars now. Fuck off. That guy does not endorse your guitars. Alex Lifeson does not endorse your guitars. In fact, since June 29th, 2010, which is a grand total of 8 fucking years ago, since you gave him that guitar, has he ever fucking used it? Has he ever picked that thing up and used it on stage? What could that say about Alex's thoughts on your guitar? Well, it's one of two things, isn't it? Either he thought it was a monumental piece of shit and threw it in the bin. It's possible. Or he didn't even bother playing it because, when you come on to the next important thing, Alex Lifeson endorses Gibson guitars. Now, I don't know, well, actually, I do know what your thoughts on endorsements are, but Alex Lifeson endorses Gibson guitars. That means he has a contract with Gibson guitars. And part of that contract is an exclusivity clause. So Alex Lifeson cannot play other people's guitars. So by suggesting that he endorses your guitars, I think you're putting yourself in quite a dangerous place here, my friend, because it's actually putting Alex Lifeson in a place where Gibson could actually potentially get him for breach of contract. Obviously, they'd need to prove that something shady's going on. Something shady isn't going on. But you, on the other hand, are using his name and likeness, which is a big thing in the US. You're using his name and likeness in order to shill your own products. Stop doing it. He is not affiliated with your company. Stop doing it. And when you look back at that list of all of those artists, all of those people that play TTM guitars, Rush, cool, yeah. Motley Crue, really? Really? Mick Mars uses TTM guitars, does he? Really? Ozzy Osbourne uses your guitars, does he? Just because, again, you've put a guitar in the hands of Bob Daisley, a bass player who has not played with Ozzy's band since what? Fucking... Oh, it's got to be what? 40 years? Mid-80s? Early 80s? 30 years? A long time ago. A long, long time ago. You didn't put Bob Daisley's name there. You put Ozzy Osbourne's name there, didn't you? And that's deliberate, isn't it? Ozzy Osbourne's name. Who are Ozzy Osbourne's guitarists? Well, we have Randy Rhoads. Did he play your guitars? No, did he fuck. He died, and then you had a couple of guys fill in for him. You had Bernie Tormé filled in, and you had Brad Gillis. Brad Gillis filled in for a short period. Then the job gets taken by Jake E. Lee. Did he play your guitars? Did he fuck? Jake E. Lee moves into Zakk Wylde. Did Zakk Wylde play your guitars? Did he fuck? Zakk Wylde leaves to do the Black Label Society thing for a while, and Ozzy uses Joe Holmes. Did Joe Holmes use your guitars? Did he fuck? Zakk Wylde came back. Was he using your guitars at that point? Was he fuck? Then we move on and we have Gus G. Does Gus G use your guitars? Does he fuck? Then we move on to Zakk Wylde. Again, awesome. Cool. I just got to see Ozzy with Zakk Wylde. It was great. Does Zakk use your guitars now? This is an interesting one because he does no longer use Gibson. He has ended that relationship. So he is playing new guitars. And they're not TTM guitars, are they? Are they fuck? No. They are Wild Audio guitars. So what are you putting Ozzy's name on there for? Same with Megadeth. You know, does Dave Mustaine use your guitars? Does he fuck? Does Chris Poland use your guitars? No. Does Mike Friedman use your guitars? No. Does Chris Broderick use your guitars? No. Does Kiko Loureiro use your guitars? No. Do I need to keep going? Stop putting these people's names on your site as artists that you endorse when they don't play your instruments. It's shady. But we know why you're doing it, don't we? We know exactly why you're doing this. You're trying to make an endorsement with your company look more appealing. In fact, when you go over to the other side, you see that nothing boosts your career like a professional endorsement. That couldn't be further from the truth. I'll bring myself up on screen. So for a long time, I dealt with bringing in new talent for one of the world's biggest instructional companies, making DVDs, selling them all over the world. And I got emails daily from people looking for work. And the amount of people that came in writing me an email didn't demonstrate how well they played or how good their teaching was or if they could record videos or, you know, what they were doing with their career. They always started with, I'm endorsed by this company, this company, this company. I don't care. Nobody cares. Good for you. That's not how endorsements work. You don't get an endorsement and then go, cool, now I've got all these endorsements, I can start getting some work. It doesn't work that way. You get work, and then companies see the high profile stuff you're doing and they want to endorse what you do. They want to endorse you and what you do to help their brand build. It doesn't work the other way around. You don't get gear and then use that as a way of building your profile. If you do that, if you get gear with a hope of building your profile, generally speaking, you tend to be paying for that gear. You're the customer. You're not the artist. You are a customer. Let's carry on. So it shows the rest of the world that you have arrived. You've arrived. Dave James Coombs, he's arrived. He's fucking made it now. And these are the things they'll offer you. Press releases. Okay. I mean, check out TTM's Twitter. They have 2,000 followers. Is it 2,000 followers? Yeah, they have 2,000 followers. So not a huge amount of followers. They have 20,000 followers on their Facebook page, but a suspiciously low amount of interaction on any of their posts. So press releases, cool. NAMM show invites. Well, they don't fucking cost anything, do they? Getting a NAMM show invite isn't that difficult. And to be fair, when you have 30 plus artists, you can't offer that, can you? Because you have a tiny little booth at NAMM, you don't get 30 passes. So, you know, you're going to let some people down there. Artist pricing. Pricing. Cool. Yeah. So customers then. Interviews. Right. Concert promos. So who are you pushing this out to? It seems that if you were doing interviews for TTM Guitars and having concert promos on TTM Guitars website and social media channels, the only people that would be seeing your stuff is other TTM artists. How does that help you boost your career? What, because you polish your ego a little bit because your face is on someone's social media and you didn't put it there? Come on. That's not worth anything to anyone, is it? Concert promos. Awesome. Yeah, cool. Get all those TTM guys to come down to your gigs. Superb notoriety. Superb. I love both of these words, both superb and notoriety, right? To say that you can offer or help someone achieve notoriety, you need to be notable. Nobody knows who your company is. And if you do try and find out who your company is on Google, you're going to find videos like this, and you're going to find people talking about you trying to scam them in 2009, sending them guitars that were piles of shit. You know, that's not, I mean, that is notorious, I guess. But superb. On the grand scheme of things, I can't think of a company less that you'd have less to gain from than TTM guitars. Could you imagine TTM guitars? I'm nobody in the grand scheme of things. Nobody. I'm more famous than TTM guitars. If I was playing TTM guitars, I would be giving TTM guitars a hell of a lot more fucking value than they would be bringing to my career. So yeah, and much more, they say, and much more. What is that much more? What is much more things you have to offer? Yeah. So as we scroll down, TTM Guitars offers 3 ways you can become endorsed. This is a limited time talent search, which is a bit of a contradiction from what Lance, the owner, has said on his Facebook. This is just how he does business. This is a great way of doing things. Tier 1, level artists who have built an industry name for themselves, tour and record on a regular basis with known acts. Tier 2, level 2 artists have a lot of buzz going on, usually have a social media following, YouTube, Facebook, and are performing with an up-and-coming act and are looking to boost their online presence and resume with an endorsement. Cool, that seems like the lowest level endorsement that any company would or even should offer, right? Tier 3, level 3 artists have a strong musical background and are looking to land their first endorsement in order to attract other endorsees. Not endorsers, they've gone with endorsees. And I think actually, with that grammatical error there, it actually tells you everything you need to know about this company. Endorsees, because by having an endorsement with this company, the only thing you're going to attract is other people that happen to play these guitars. You're not going to get more work from having an endorsement with this company. You're not going to get more endorsements. You're not going to achieve anything other than having less money in your bank account. And establish themselves as a serious contender in the music industry. Guys, I've got a game for you, right? Go on TTM Guitars website, fill out these forms, and I promise you, you will be offered an endorsement no matter what happens. And that's really the issue here, isn't it, right? I get it, guys. I really do. I remember the first time I got my first endorsement, and to be fair, it was like, it shouldn't have even happened, to be honest. It was I made a cheeky comment to somebody that worked for the company, going, when are you gonna do me a better price on one of those guitars? And he sent me a message and said, yeah, I like what you're doing. We're happy to do that. We can do that. Not even an improper endorsement, but I do understand. At the time, I was elated. It meant the world to me, and it told me that I was achieving something. In reality, though, that was just, it polished my ego, which I don't need to polish my ego with stuff like that. I can polish my own ego just by sitting and looking in the fucking mirror. So it certainly didn't help boost my career. In fact, there will be very few of you guys watching this video that will even know what company that was. I'm not going to name them, and that makes the point, right? It didn't do anything for my career. The company sold me a guitar and some other bits over the years, and they still made a profit on it, right? They sell their guitars for, I don't know, £3,000. I got a guitar for £1,600. I felt amazing because I'd got something, but the company hadn't lost any money. They weren't really taking any huge risks. So I wasn't really getting anything other than spending a bunch of money that I didn't really have. And this is what it all comes back to, right? You will fill in these endorsements, and when you look online to try and find more information about this company, what you will find is a bunch of people saying, oh yeah, I filled out that form and I got offered a tier 3 endorsement, or I got offered a tier 2 endorsement. Nobody says I got turned down. And they all say the same thing, but unfortunately, I just can't afford to be spending that sort of money on a guitar right now. What? It's a funny business model when you think about it, and it makes sense. It does make sense from a business perspective. You advertise all of your guitars at $2,000. Now, they're not worth $2,000. From the pictures I've seen, they look dreadful. They look like Chinese imports. They still look like Chinese imports. They don't look like quality handcrafted instruments. And even the people that you know, artists that we now know are artists, when they comment on the value of the guitars, when people say, yeah, but would you, if you saw this in a shop for $2,000, would you have paid that for it? And even these guys have said, no, I wouldn't have paid that for it. So we're talking about products that aren't worth what they advertise them for. Or if you did buy that, you'd be very disappointed, right? And then you go, right, so we advertise our products for $2,000. But, light bulb, but we actually only need to sell them for $1,000 in order to make a profit. Cool. So why don't we just offer anybody who wants one, anyone who wants one, an endorsement? We'll offer them loads of cool things in return. Exposure. You're getting paid in exposure, guys. Exposure. And in return, they get their guitar for a discounted rate. They get their guitar not for $2,000, but we'll give it to them for $1,000 because we're just good people. Come on, you can see what's going on here. This is ridiculous. Why? Like, please. The point is, people, please don't fall for this. Please don't fall for this. If you want to play TTM guitars, by all means, play TTM guitars. That's great, but don't let the endorsement part of things sway you. That is not what's pulling you into this. I know companies, I've dealt with companies where literally a good half of their business model is to offer out endorsements to anybody that will buy one of their guitars just so they can stay in business. Because I know, like, if there's a guitar that I want that's £2,000 and I can get it for £1,300 and they turn around and are like, yeah, we really love what you're doing. That's selling to you. They're selling to you. If you're buying guitars like this, you're not an endorsed artist. You're the customer. And I hate to break that to you, but in this scenario, you're the customer. If you're okay with that, fine. Absolutely fine. But don't convince yourself you're getting more out of this than you actually are. You're paying $1,000 for a guitar that at best is only worth $1,000. It's not worth what they're telling you it's worth. What do you guys think, though? Check out TTM guitars. I mean, I've not even gone into looking or showing you the images of their guitars. You can do that yourself. I'd recommend it. You will have a giggle. Yeah, I'd be interested to know, what's your experience like with endorsements? Have you had endorsements? What are your thoughts on the current state of the music industry in terms of endorsements, artists, selling things, integrity, people being able to stand up and say, I like this guitar because they genuinely like this guitar, or I like this guitar because they got it for free or for cheap or whatever. I paid for that. I paid for that. I paid for that. I paid for that. More. Bought this second hand. This came from a shop. This came from a shop. This came from a shop. This came from eBay. This came from a forum. This came from a shop. I bought all of these. So when I tell you I like these guitars, it's because I like them. That means a lot to me. Integrity obviously means a lot to me. But one of the reasons I can actually have the integrity thing is thanks to these people over here. These are some of my supporters over on patreon.com. I, for a very long time, worked for magazines and the like, and was often told, you can't say that. You can't say that about this company because they advertise with us. You've got to be positive about this guitar. When you do a review of this pedal, you have to say good things. You can't say it's shit because they've put an advert in the magazine. To me, that was shady. I didn't feel comfortable telling people that I thought a pedal was great when I really didn't. So I would encourage you to really think about that when people are telling you if they like things. Now, thanks to these people, I don't need to worry about that. If I play something that I think is a pile of shit, I can tell you this is a pile of shit. If I play something that I love, it's because I've bought it and because I love it. So yeah, if you want to check me out on Patreon, ta-da, you can do so by clicking this button up here. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking this button down here, and you'll see 2 more of my videos here and here. I'd love to put a TTM guitars video in there, but they don't have anything worth watching. Actually, there is a very funny video where they pretend to be Ozzy Osbourne and Zakk Wylde and make out that they play their guitars. It's dreadful. just dreadful. Anyway, much love, guys, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.